y'all, welcome to the kitchen at the House of Yumm, and today we're going to make a homemade queso. And the best part about this queso is that we are using real cheese. This queso is smooth, it's creamy, it's perfect for dipping chips or drizzling over some tacos or burritos or nachos or whatever you want to do with it. And since we are using real trees, we're not using trees. And since we are using real cheese, I have a little trick that's going to make this so creamy, you're not gonna believe it. And since we are using real cheese, that means we gotta put a little bit of elbow grease into this. So, hold on. This is my dishwasher. It only looks dirty because my kids do the dishes. Totally using my wrong hand. Okay, that's better. Now that the cheese is shredded, all of it, it's kind of packed in there. Oh no. Oh. There, in all its gloriousness, I have 8 ounces of a mild cheddar and 8 ounces of Monterey Jack. These are my favorite cheeses to use. I find that using a sharp cheddar, it kind of gives a gritty texture to the finished queso, so mild is the way to go. The trick to getting a smooth and silky queso using this real cheese, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to the cheese and just kind of mix it around, get all the cheese coated in the cornstarch. Next up is an onion, a tomato, and a jalapeno. Dare me to juggle? I'm not going to. Although, I did take juggling when I was in middle school, if that's a real thing. I did. Got cornstarch all over my hands. I like a fine dice. So, if you want a spicy queso, you're gonna wanna leave the white membrane inside your jalapeno because that's where the heat comes from. If you don't want it super spicy, you can cut out the membrane and the seeds. Smooth, smooth. Gosh, there was a ton of seeds in that bad boy. And if you think that jalapeno might be too spicy, you can not do jalapeno and you could use green chilies, diced green chilies instead. Or you could use a different kind of pepper, maybe a poblano would be good. Jalapeno seeds flying everywhere. And the last thing is our tomato. Okay, I always use Roma tomatoes because they have less juice than other tomatoes. And we don't want soggy queso. Now, let's get cooking. Going to add in about just a tablespoon of oil, not too much. And then we will saute our onion and the jalapeno. Add it in. We just want to cook these until they're nice and soft. So they're getting nice and soft. I'm going to add in our tomato and just cook these briefly. Okay, now we can add in our seasonings. Going to start with 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of dried oregano. I always use Mexican oregano, and half a teaspoon of chili powder, because I put chili powder in everything. Okay, stir it all around. Okay, now, I guess I just have this sitting over there in the corner. Okay, this is 1 cup of evaporated milk. That's the other trick to making this extra smooth and creamy. We're using evaporated milk. Just means all the excess liquid has been brought out of the milk. Okay, so just kind of scrape the pan, make sure nothing got stuck to the bottom of the pan while you were cooking. We're gonna bring this to a boil. So we're just gonna let it heat while we stir. I can smell it already. It's almost queso, almost. Okay, so now it's boiling. I'm going to turn the heat down. We get to add in our cheese. We just want to keep on stirring while this melts in. It's getting gooey. Oh, you guys. Oh, perfect. Okay. This queso just makes my heart happy. It is so rich, it's so creamy, it is so smooth. You will not miss the processed cheese in this, I promise you. Okay. Oh. Just look at that cheese. This is perfect.